Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Drawing with Dave. Here we have episode 9. And so we're going to be doing this episode actually without camera. We actually finally picked up a new camera for the channel. Got the Sony 4600 in the middle of setting it all up. So I have no camera hooked up at the moment, but I want to get a sketch out to you guys for Friday. So I think what we're going to work on today is a sketch of good old Lilith from Diablo 4. We had someone post from previous video. I'll put it up on screen now. I declare Cass. Thank you so much. I had a bunch of thumbs up, so I think we should actually tackle that. That'd actually be a lot of fun. I love how she came out. And so I just have some reference on the side here, and then I'm just basically going to dive right into this and start sketching. Something pretty wide here. All right, so we're basically going to start with some type of head shape here. What I'd like to do in this piece is actually get a good amount of brush work. Let me bring the mic a little closer. More brush work into Lilith. There's so many awesome pieces created, especially the ones by Brahm. And I'd love to get that type of vibe going. I just want to get something kind of sketched in here. Something simple. I just want to really relax with the sketch tonight. We actually did a lot of painting today. And this week, this has been the first week really going to jamming out a lot of contract work and freelance work for other clients. So it's been super, super busy. So really just getting like placements of eyes, nose, you know, all that stuff. I'm not super worried about a lot of it. She's got these really awesome cheekbones. That's one of the best things about her design, right? I want to kind of try to get those figured out. Be cool to really get her kind of glaring up here. I played a little bit of a recent season of Diablo 3, season 19. I'm actually pretty excited. Funny, we're drawing a Diablo character, but I'm pretty excited for next Path of Exile League starting up. So I want to try to actually stay pretty messy with all this. She kind of looks like a fish creature right now, but that's okay. Let's see here. Get all these kind of head shapes that come off her. She's got this awesome kind of like neck choker all around her, which is pretty great. Keep this pretty messy too. Figure out her lips here. But I really, really love her character design, and when I saw it at BlizzCon, I was pretty blown away. Artists always really kicking ass these days. Let's see here. I guess she's got these kind of like small eyebrows. And the top of his forehead and these kind of little things that might come down. And we'll just really get these awesome horns on the side of her head. And then there's the other ones that come up top. Really don't mind being messy with any of this. So I'm really not sure how we're going to light it either. I want to keep this going pretty quick because I would love to jam into some color tonight. Get this all going in one swoop here. You know, and you can kind of make up a lot of stuff too as far as where the horns go. You know, you can kind of push it to fit your composition a little bit. It looks like, I can't tell if she's got ears, but it looks like she's got like these earring things that do hang down too, which is pretty cool. Let's see here. Always be flipping it around. I'm gonna drag this, paste it over. Kind of want to drag this. Kind of like that right there. You hear me typing. I'm actually looking up another. I should have grabbed some more, but I need some more reference of actual Lilith. I had just one, but it was actually hard to tell what was going on with a lot of her horn shapes. Okay, we can try something like this one. She's very pouty. Here we go. Now I'll probably do like a lot of this piece. She's gonna be kind of hanging out in darkness, you know. I've actually been using this DG under one brush quite a bit lately. I've actually really been enjoying the results. It's actually getting me a little bit away from line drawing and more kind of starting to block in with shape again, which is nice. I feel like I can be messy with it, but I still have a good amount of control. And it's good for getting in a lot of areas pretty quick. So we kind of paint around here. All right, yeah, and so we didn't really have any comments on what to draw last week. That was probably my fault. I think I forgot to ask what you guys want to see in the next Drawing with Dave. We can get that. So if you guys have any ideas what you want to see next week, definitely put it in the comment below. And definitely, if you are enjoying this content, definitely feel free to subscribe to the channel. A lot of people coming in lately. It really means a lot to me. I try to really get some more constant paint videos out that are real time and not just speed paints. You know, she actually more have like it's more white with black on the inside. More like this. Although we do have a bunch more time lapses coming as well. I've been recording about every piece that we've been doing lately has been recorded. So that's going to be kind of like mixed in with other content. Sometimes it's good to, you know, try to slow down a little bit in the stage, actually figure out these shapes that I am going to want. We'll kind of paint it out. Like I said, I kind of want to be pretty loose with this. Let's bring this up here. I think what I want to do though, I think I want to extend the bottom of his face out. It's kind of the beauty about doing this stuff digital, right? You can do those type of shenanigans. Get this all painted in here, figure out what she might have for her nose shape. You know, it's like you really gotta figure out what you want to do for all these shapes, otherwise it kind of will drive you bonkers. Figure out where her jaw is over here. There we go. We're constantly just pushing it all around and trying to model out different areas. She still kind of looks like a fish woman. Let's see here. All right, we have a lot to tweak about this one. Sometimes it takes a little while to figure out all the shapes you actually want. Alright, so I'm going to try to do some things here because I want to show you guys something that I go through. So like right now, a lot of the direction and these brush marks I don't like. Instead of just scrapping the piece and just figuring something else out, I like to spend the time to really kind of show you what I go through when I hit these stages of a sketch where a lot of parts are just not working or a brush is fighting me. You know, sometimes you just work on a sketch and like it's just what's in your head is not coming out. Let's slow down and figure out what is the issue. I think like her nose, I didn't like it all. I think I might have a little problem with her eyes. So let's slow down and figure out what we're working with here. I think I actually could give her more of a curved nose. Let's see what we can do here with this. Especially with the eyes, and then I think she actually has more of this like dotted eyebrow thing. But I think it's good to slow down if something is not working for you. Slow down, figure out what it is. You can always just erase it out, draw something new. You're never locked into anything. If something's bothering you, you know, I always say, spend the time to fix it. It's worth it. And we'll go around and figure out kind of what we want to do with the eyes. You know, I could give her kind of more extreme ones. We'll throw some kind of wild color on this too. I think for me, spending a little time to slow down and blend this is going to be good for us, you know. And I saw comments down below too about tackling some environment work and not just doing a bunch of characters every week. And I think that's a really great idea. I think next week we should actually do that. Maybe I'll find some kind of looser brushes and do something like that. And we should have the new camera going next week, which is pretty exciting. I got a lot of stuff for it. I just need to wait for the AC adapter. It's always something else, you know. So I'm basically smoothing out a lot of this stuff, trying to figure out like, oh, you know, it's like, well, I guess this is her whole eye here. Like maybe we don't even figure out the eye where the pupils are right now. We can make it just kind of this creepy look. And we'll figure out kind of where the tear duct is and everything else. Make sure everything's kind of lined up properly here. Then we'll kind of smooth this in where these brows are. She actually has like a lot of, let's see here, you know, black and dark value under her eyes. Maybe we can use some of this messy brush here and try to get this, get it in here. Make it look pretty messy. Same with all these little scratch marks that kind of come down off her face. Yeah, you don't have to be too exact with these things. Yeah, she's such a great looking character. Especially how everything is set up with these horns and everything around her. Let's do a little blending. Maybe we'll keep this brush and try to blend it out a little bit. I think this could incorporate like too much texture at one point, but I think for now it's not too bad. Let's get these in here. So she's going to have these, let's grab this DG under brush again. And figure out these kind of large areas of her horns. I think that's my favorite part of her design is how large these horns are. You're like, man, she must have some serious neck issues. Massive neck pain. These would be tough to keep up. See, now we're starting to get things cooking a little bit here. Okay, all right. Sometimes you gotta slow down, get a little finesse in there. Especially for me, if I have a bunch of shapes that are just reading improperly, it really throws off how I'm going to tackle the rest of the piece. And all these kind of like little curve shapes, part of our horns, you don't have to, especially at the beginning stages, really spend a lot of time and figure out like where each one is, right? You can do these kind of quick movements to get the idea of this ribbing that exists in our horns. This really cool neck piece. She's got these things that same shapes that kind of come off her body here. Her shoulder would actually probably be more down here. But I want to get some, kind of block this in behind her. And it's cool to be kind of messy with a lot of that background detail too. Some of the shadow that's going to exist down here. Keep flipping. Yeah, she got these kind of things like small little pupils. go. Now we're finding some shapes I like here. And same thing up here. Let's get some of these darker shapes happening. Just kind of pepper them in. She's got a lot of kind of crazy texture that happens up here as it moves into the forehead, right? This is kind of nice because we're almost like leaving this to be some type of simple portrait, right? All right, so let's get all this up. And we'll kind of leave these little gray areas right here. It's like, especially when these early parts of the sketch, you really just don't want to like slow down enough to at least like we were figuring out all this like little ribbing, because she has a lot. You could see, it looks like you could spend at least 4+ hours really figuring out the nitty-gritty on all our horns. But for kind of like a sketch like this, it might not be necessary. Figure out these little guys right here. Really just kind of adding little shapes back here just to give it some type of interest, so you almost have like a layer upon it that's not just like a straight brush. Sometimes I'll go back here and just make little shapes just so it's something, you know. There we go. And this horn doesn't really curve back too much on her original design, but I like how it looks in this one to have it kind of curve back and kind of create that shape. I add these, I want to make sure it looks like the eye's kind of at least looking in the same direction here. Same deal, let's get some, at least the shape of these other horns back here. There we go. And then we can, these nice little negative space that exists in between is kind of nice. And at this stage, I usually don't think about the lighting too much. Sometimes I'll start to get like a loose idea of how we may want to do it. And like this stuff over here for this sketch doesn't matter too much. Let's just kind of add some variation and here just so it's something. Apologize for all these Windows sounds. It's sometimes Windows just likes to mess with me. Alright, there's all these kind of shapes on our shoulder and stuff, but may not be super important for what we're doing. Alright. So basically what we're going to do now is I'm already not going to spend a ton more time into this black and white stage. Let's start messing, since we're going to keep this like a loose painting, sketch anyway. Like, we seriously can just start jamming some color on it. And some kind of like lighting scenarios. We can keep it pretty simple. Okay, so flatten it all down. I'm gonna use my light and layer, sorry. I usually do just to brush in some of that red, I think. Especially for a piece like this, it's gonna come in handy to kind of have this color kind of breathe underneath it. And I think we're gonna grab like a multiply layer just to jam in a little bit of color. She's pretty pale. But I think if we start with some stuff like this, it'll actually help once we start bringing it all out later. And even this stuff, I can be kind of messy on the back. It's almost like you're doing this like a wash over a painting, right? Like a traditional painting. So, kind of all ties it all together. And just to start, before I start hitting the actual layer without any kind of layer settings, I probably will jam like a laying layer here. And this will kind of help me determine what I want to do as far as lighting goes. Like, we could just do like a general spotlight, right? Spotlight in the center of her face, which might not be too bad. So it's kind of fun. It will kind of work for this one. You could go with like really obscure with your lighting if you want. But I think for the purpose of this, it won't be too bad. And then even up here, we can get some, what'll be maybe some cool light on the top of her head, not to these things. Yeah, just like that. All right. So basically I just have like a normal layer again. I'm gonna start even kind of brightening up a lot of this. I know I want to hit some kind of like spotlight color on these areas. And I can go with my eraser and kind of jam out a little bit of it again. I probably don't want so much of it in there. This part of the painting, there's a lot of kind of back and forth on figuring out how you're gonna push your values further and further, right? This is also the part of painting where I may slow down. And then kind of really go in and figure out all these little shapes where light's hitting and where it's not. It will take some of this lighter color that we just kind of discovered, and then I can actually go into the piece itself and really start figuring out these little lit areas. All like these little bits and pieces. And then we can really find what shapes we're looking for. It's like we're just discovering this whole painting as we go, and this is like usually my favorite part of a painting right here. Is figuring out how all these little pieces are finally going to come together. Getting these little darker areas under the lips here. And then you also notice that like, oh, we're hitting this lip here. Maybe we can start getting a little color and like a little bounce light that's going to hit on this little section. Like that. And we can do this in small stages. Like maybe some of that color is also hitting the bottom of the nose. And so we just kind of keep building through this whole process. Something that we might bring over here. And just don't be afraid to be messy with it, spend a little more time figuring out where the top of the eyes are. And this is generally how most of my work always goes. It's really finding areas and shapes that I can kind of fall in love with. And then kind of keep going around the piece and find little different areas that kind of do the same thing for me, you know. You know, and you're still never stuck with any certain spot or area. You can always kind of keep shifting it around. If the pupils are in a weird spot, I always have pupil issues in every single piece. Someday maybe I won't, but I always seem to. And especially on a sketch like this, we could possibly get like our highlight in, just to kind of give it a bit of early life into it. You can figure out kind of maybe there's like a little highlight down here on the nose. You know, we're just slowly building up a lot of this stuff. I think this is a piece that might actually should get a second part. I think this could be a cool little Lilith piece. But this is a this is something that's probably going to take a little bit longer than this episode usually has. Yeah, if you guys want to see me finish this piece, definitely post down below. I think this could be kind of a cool portrait piece to work on. I'm actually kind of into it. Especially kind of finding these little areas to jam into. Figure out the rest of her other cheekbone over here, and she does have these crazy ones. So we'll bring the highlight over here. We'll just kind of blend it out. Yeah, I think a lot of these drawing with days, maybe a lot of them will be broken into two. So I apologize having to wait a week between each one, but I'm trying to get about almost 2 videos out a week right now, which is definitely a big step up in the amount of content to put out, which I've been pretty happy with. We can try to get these in. Like, we can see like how crazy what we want to get with some of these markings. You know, where can we find like actual pretty neat shapes where they're actually like chiseled into her face, where they actually get a highlight. That could be pretty cool. There we go. So I would spend some time really kind of modeling this face out. And then when you get to a place where you're like, wow, this face is feeling pretty good. I like the direction. Then you kind of start branching out and getting these details in, like these earrings that she has on. And then like even for her lips, because she does have like darker lips, I grab a multiply layer. And we could start to get a little bit of this blue in here. Kind of jam it in over it, right? Like right here. Like her lipstick actually doesn't seem, or these darker lips seem pretty clean. It's not like it's all over her face. We'll kind of take the airbrush eraser and kind of blend it. I don't like a harsh top to the upper lip. I like that little blending in, and then we can erase it and try to get some of these Same highlights. You know, we can push these highlights even more later, but it does the trick for it right now. And same with this color, we can take the same thing and she's probably going to get the same treatment like around where her eyes are, and we can go back in later and kind of pull some parts out of it. We can see what works and what doesn't. And then what we can do when we want to kind of pepper in color in little areas, we'll probably go back to like an overlay layer, and you know, we can get like a little bit of, you know, she probably will have like a little bit of warmth in her nose, maybe like a tiny bit right here. And she's pretty cold and dead looking. But I think having the variety of color temperature is gonna work pretty well for us in the end. Like you can actually hit up some pretty heated areas right here, you know. I think that'd be pretty cool. Kind of just pepper that in. And we'll blast them down here and we'll, yeah, there we go. What we could do at one point is maybe do kind of some spot like light hitting on this opposite side. Like there could be like a brighter red that's hitting on this part of the nose and around or something, right? It could be hitting this part of the cheekbone or something. You know, we have a bunch of ways we can play with really kind of making the piece pop a little bit more. You know, that's something we could explore on the next one. Right, that kind of stuff really adds quite a bit to it. You know, we could leave it in for now. And make sure the light, at least if it's hitting over here, it should feel like it's curving around the object. You don't want to do like your rim lights with like too hard of an edge. You can really flatten your piece out by accident if you're not careful. I want to make sure that cheekbones at least kind of match where they're located at. You know, some of this light could even hit over here on the eye, who knows? She looks like she's glaring at me. It's starting to freak me out. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I like where we're going here. See, it's worth kind of working through those weird stages at the beginning where you're like, oh God, it's not gonna work. All right, I think, you know, for the time we spent, we got a good sketch started. I think next time we'd actually could push this to a cool piece, or if you guys want down below, we could work on something else, you know. We don't always have to do like a fan art piece either. We can do whatever we want. But guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Drawing with Dave. And I'm excited to get working on this next week. Like I said before, if you like this type of stuff, definitely feel free to subscribe to the channel. It means a ton. And post down below. All right, guys, thank you so much. And I will see you in the next week's episode. Have a great day today.